In a couple of recent videos, we've kind of gone for hunts on maps where I said that essentially we had been recently shooting everything, and we usually do that on stream. And I know not everyone gets to catch the stream, so I wanted to kind of do that in a video, pretty much to kind of show exactly what we're doing. And I noticed out here, there are 3 gobblers all in a group. I'm not sure where the third one got to, but I thought that actually might be a good place to start. And as we're trying to locate the third one, I wanted to talk about why I chose SRP again, because we did come here and got the 2 diamond pronghorn in the same herd. Let's actually for a second here, somewhat pause and focus, because I can see this guy. We can get him, we can get that one, and we can get that one. And once that guy drops, we'll have 3 gobblers down all in the same area. But with the shots out of the way and an ability to not have to focus on trying to make those shots, I'll go back to explaining essentially, number 1, I thought it might be fun to focus on a different time and try to see if we could get some black bear. I really want a color-phased diamond black bear at some point anyway, so with the opportunity to maybe go and get some, maybe this would be a good time to start and actually get some respawn swords at. The other reason is, this is a map that we've done that on where we've shot a bunch of stuff and gotten some respawns. So maybe as we're going out here and attempting to basically shoot everything and kind of show exactly what that looks like, we can maybe run into something cool from the previous time. Now, as I said, the point of this video is to basically show what I mean by saying that we're shooting everything we see. And there are a couple of things, like obviously I'm not really worrying about shooting females. There's nothing on SRP that spawns as like a diamond female. For instance, like Gemsbuck over on Verhunga, it would make sense to shoot the female ones because you could get a diamond female to spawn. But I guess if we were to talk about sort of the rules of doing this, we are only going to be shooting the male animals, and there are going to be certain circumstances where we don't shoot literally everything we see. If, for instance, maybe there was a mule deer or something like way out here, and since there are 2 pronghorn bucks, we might take the pronghorn bucks and leave the mule deer. I'm not trying to throw a bunch of shots at fleeing animals, but the more shots I can get, like good solid shots, the better. In the meantime, actually a pretty solid gold pronghorn at 85, and then we'll kind of scoot back up onto the flat because the hill was starting to cover up our shots at the other pronghorn. And I'll go ahead and take the 2 of those bucks out as well. There's another 4 in there, so that should be another gold as long as we can make the shot. And I did grab the M1 just to kind of allow us to make better shots in these situations. The less time between like the first shot and kind of racking another round to get a second shot, the better. Obviously with the M1, there's no need for that. It is just a semi-automatic. Bison, even though I just said I don't like to take a ton of fleeing shots, are super slow when they're fleeing. So I figured with the 338 championship we could make that shot. And this, I think, is probably as good an example as I can give of basically what I do on these streams, like what we're doing when we're trying to get a bunch of stuff and get a bunch of respawns. Just anything that shows up and gives us a shot, we're going for it and trying to get those respawns. I think there was a point, by the way, like back in the day where we pretty much just always hunted like this. If there was a male of any species, really, we'd go ahead and go for it. And I kind of do think that may have correlated with when we had our best success in single player, because a lot of what we do now is multiplayer. And I mean, when it comes to making videos, I don't like to always include like a bunch of lower scoring animals. So going into multiplayer and kind of being a little more picky about what we actually go for, it does allow for like the video to have, I guess, a better average quality animal. But when it comes to like single player and having good stuff on your maps, I think this is the ideal way to do it. But we're getting past 1500 now, which means bears are going to be starting to get into their drink time. So I wanted to give a little time to hunt other stuff because I figure it's mostly going to be bears from here on out, but now we should start to see some. Well, it's unfortunate that we spooked him, but our first black bear is a mythical. And it's at a spot where I was just getting ready to actually leave. I didn't see anything, and then this guy came running down from the right, so I don't know where he actually spooked from or where he was drinking, but I kind of think he's been running for a while. He's going to alert now. That shot should be good from the 338 championship. How many times have we come here to SRP recently and shot mythical black bear? Now, a lot of them have been multiplayer, but if we can start to do that in single player and start to kind of get a decent tally of them down, eventually that level 9 is going to spawn, and just hopefully it spawns with an uncommon fur type. But good way to start for the black bear portion, I would say. A common, of course, but a 21.4 mythical isn't too bad. doubling them there at 167 meters. And by the way, there's 2 black bear spots that are really good on this map that we're not going to do much with today. One down here that I think we are going to visit, and then this lake all the way up here in the top right. I've only got females spawning there now, and technically I think the way to fix that is to go and try to shoot as many of them as we can and kind of make room for male respawns. But just because of what we're working on today, I think we'll save that for some other time to just try to clear that out and make room. We're trying to like kind of get all the males today and stay with that theme, so I know that I shot some females here and maybe there could be some male bears. We'll check it out and then kind of go to other spots where we get to see both sides, going from a mythical to a level 4 black bear, but at least this time it is a uncommon fur type. I think that's cinnamon. It could be brown, it's really hard to tell. And then it's also the turkey drink time for probably not much longer. I don't see any gobblers here, but that was another thing and maybe something to look for, especially having shot a couple of gobblers right at the beginning. A melanistic gobbler along with the black bear grind could kind of be 2 things to do at the same time. So anytime we get an opportunity for them, we'll try to get them as well. I'm gonna say this is a cinnamon. That was a gobbler though. Actually, that's the brown fur type. It's really tough to tell like in low lighting. Where would that gobbler have actually been at? And a lot of times when any animal calls, it's like while they're traveling. So it could be that their drink time is kind of over and they're leaving. And I guess it was something I wanted to mention. I don't tend to go like running after calls unless the animals are out in the open. I try to kind of stick to stuff that we can easily see and go for. I think in the long run it's more efficient that way, but I don't know, when it comes to turkeys we could have run for it, but I figure we'll stick with the black bear at least for this video. I feel like you really see it though, with the pronghorn especially. I don't know what that guy is doing, but there's 2 more big 4s here, both technically with estimates that could reach diamond, but I don't think either of them are diamond level 4s. That's a dark fur type, so we'll take him. We'll take him, and if that guy's gonna hang out there, we'll take him as well. That's the second time now we shot 3 males in one group. I was gonna say one herd, but I guess it would have been one flock with the turkeys earlier. Also a level 3 bison walking across, so we can try to hit him with the 338. It's kind of an interesting range. 250 is a weird one to 0 for. Since he stopped though, we can go ahead and get that shot, not have to worry about like trying to aim high and also lead him. But yeah, these are the kind of opportunities where if we can make those shots and get a bunch of animals down, that's where we can be super efficient and get good respawns. And I mean, I do want to see what these 2 big 4s scored, but it's not like we had anything huge in there. Lots of female black bear running around today, but just those couple of good sized ones as well as just getting respawns. It's kind of just nice to see good ones while we're doing it. But it looks like 1 ran and dropped up there. Our 3 was like the last second we could have got that shot. He was just starting to take off. But then we had a actually 93.5 for the dark fur type one. I think he was the bigger of the 2. Not bad though, might be our highest scoring dark pronghorn. And then this guy is an 87.7, but some nice pronghorn bucks. I mean, was that the 3rd or 4th max weight of some we've seen today? And they're not incredibly common to run into. A bunch of smaller bison over there, we might kind of leave them go. Just because we're going up and claiming another one, I don't want to start to accumulate too much stuff to actually track. There's certain scenarios where I'm not just, you know, spinning a circle, shooting absolutely everything. I try to make sense of it and at least keep track of what we can claim, because if we don't claim the animals, they don't count as a respawn anyway. But, you know, when the bison was up here not too far past the pronghorn, that one I think is worth taking and going to get. And it probably seems a little bit convoluted, like, shoot everything, but, you know, try to be smart about it and all that. Like, I realize there's a bunch of ifs and buts when it comes to doing this stuff, but it really just is down to preference, like how much time you want to spend running and going the track stuff. In my case, especially the fact that I don't really want to focus on bison as much as black bear, and black bear are active right now, I'd rather kind of leave the ones over there that are going to take forever and go and look for more bears. But let's say you wanted to focus on bison, absolutely the move would have been to go across and start to shoot those ones that we saw over there as well. Well, if the goal here was to spook every max weight estimate black bear we see, we're 2 for 2 now. I don't know if we hit the tree or if we got the bear there. I'm gonna guess by his reaction that we hit the tree. There was like a tiny little gap where I thought we could get a shot through, and unfortunately, I'm thinking we didn't. I I'd see him again. If there's any room to do this. There was such a tough angle. We actually got a lung. I'm surprised that we made that shot. It's going to help us a lot in the long run there. By the way, that max weight Plains Bison is a level 4. I did see it running through when the black bear showed up, but go figure, we spooked yet another one and weren't able to get a super easy shot, but managed in the end. And at least it's good to see a couple of big bears spawning still, despite the fact that it seems to be kind of vast majority females on the map. I don't know if it's because we ID'd the track. We can't actually see what that was, but that was the direction that I wanted to head before the level 7 showed up, so we'll go and look. Actually, 21.2 for him. What was the mythical? It scored almost exactly the same. 21.4 was the mythical, so I guess not a very big mythical. I thought it was a little bigger than it was, and actually a really big level 7 then. Well, I think this might be our last kill of the day if we can even find this guy. A max weight black bear again and a brown fur type. Now we've seen a max weight 7 and a max weight 8, so I feel like it's only right we're going to see a max weight 9. It probably isn't going to be, but just for the sake of kind of going along with the numbers, maybe that will work out. Now, I'm not too sure why he's going it this way. The tracks might be really old, and the thing is we just spawned at that outpost. They are very old tracks. I'm trying to see, he could go and drink up there. That's the only reason I can imagine he's going that way, but we'll follow him and see. That is kind of unfortunate. I was thinking on my way, like, over here while we were tracking him. At that lake, I've seen, like, the head of a brown fur type black bear kind of pop up in the reeds before, and I could never spot it, and I don't remember ever actually shooting it, so I'm kind of guessing it's been this guy all along. Which, I mean, he's been there for a very long time, but I guess usually I maybe don't hit the track, or it could also be the case that that is just a new spawn, but regardless, even though we didn't get any huge bears or anything at all huge today, we still got 3 max weight estimate black bears and a bunch of stuff down for respawns. And I mean, the ultimate point of this video was basically to show like what that process looks like, and a lot of times, and I guess I get it, like in videos it does look like it's too easy to find diamonds or whatever, like we just go out and within a 10 or 12 minute video we end up getting a diamond. But this is like a lot of what goes into those videos, and a lot of what's behind it is just shooting a bunch of pretty much average size to maybe a little above average size stuff in hopes of eventually getting one of those max level animals to spawn. And I really wanted this guy to maybe be one. He is of course the brown fur type, but 21.1, all of our big bears have been basically, well, I think within 4 kg. I think the mythical was 234, and all within 0.3 of each other as far as scores, so maybe that'll be a good thing. Like if there's a bunch of pretty big ones, maybe we'll get one really big one to spawn out of that, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be a color phase diamond. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.